The most powerful pirate hideout in the world was about to fall. This was the Republic of Pirates, a lawless kingdom in the heart of the Caribbean. But its end would not come from a huge navy or a massive battle. It wasn't cannons that would bring it down. The entire pirate republic was dismantled by the mind of a single man. He arrived not with an army, but with an idea. A plan so clever, it would turn pirates against each other and end their golden age forever. This pirate kingdom was a real place called Nassau. It was a bustling, sandy port town where the most famous pirates in history gathered. A group called the Flying Gang, which included Blackbeard himself, called this place home. They lived free, with no kings or laws to tell them what to do. Nassau became a giant problem for the whole world. Its location was perfect for pirates to attack the busy trade routes. Ships carrying treasure and goods were easy targets. The pirate republic was choking the life out of the colonies, and the great empires of Europe were losing fortunes. The island itself was a natural fortress. A shallow harbor meant that big Navy warships could not sail in, but the smaller, faster pirate ships could navigate the tricky waters with ease. It was a safe haven, a place where pirates could rest, repair their ships, and plan their next raid, untouchable by the law. The man sent to end this was named Woodes Rogers. He was not a typical Navy captain. In fact, he was a famous privateer. That's like a legal pirate hired by the government to attack enemy ships. He knew the sea, and he knew how men like these thought. Rogers had sailed all the way around the world. He had even rescued a castaway named Alexander Selkirk, the real-life man who inspired the story of Robinson Crusoe. This experience gave Rogers a special understanding of sailors and adventurers. He knew they weren't just monsters. They were men who wanted freedom and fortune. His weapon was not a sword, but a piece of paper. It was called the King's Pardon. The offer was simple. Any pirate who gave up their life of crime by a certain date would be forgiven for everything. They could walk away free, with no punishment. But the pardon came with a terrifying threat. For any pirate who refused the offer, there would be no more chances. They would be hunted down without mercy. The only thing waiting for them was the hangman's noose. This choice was designed to break the pirate brotherhood apart. In July of 1718, Woodes Rogers' small fleet of ships appeared at the entrance to Nassau's harbor. He blocked the only way out. Inside, hundreds of pirates were trapped. Among them was the fierce Charles Vane, a pirate who refused to bow to anyone. A message was sent into the pirate town. The time to choose had arrived. The entire pirate haven of Nassau held its breath. In the harbor, Woodes Rogers' Royal Navy ships formed a solid wall of wood and cannons, blocking the only way out. On the shore, hundreds of the world's most feared pirates watched, their hands resting on their swords and pistols. There was no shouting, no fighting, just a tense, heavy silence hanging over the island. The offer from the king was read aloud for all to hear. It was a simple choice, delivered on a piece of paper. Surrender now, and all past crimes would be forgiven. A clean slate, a new life. But for those who refused, there would be no mercy. This single offer was a weapon, aimed to split the pirate republic right down the middle. But one pirate captain, Charles Vane, gave his answer immediately. It wasn't with words, it was with fire. Vane was the spirit of true piracy, and he would never surrender. He saw the pardon not as a gift, but as a chain, and he decided to break it in the most dramatic way possible. In the dark of night, Vane took a ship he had recently captured. He and his crew loaded it with everything that would burn, turning it into a giant floating bonfire. They lit the fuse, aimed it directly at Rogers' fleet, and abandoned ship. The massive fire ship sailed into the blockade, forcing the Navy ships to scatter in panic. In the confusion, Vane and his loyal crew slipped away in a smaller, faster ship, escaping into the open sea. While Vane's fiery escape was a show of defiance, it was a lonely one. Back in Nassau, something even more surprising was happening. The other pirates, watching Vane disappear, made a very different choice. One by one, then in groups, they walked down to the beach and laid down their weapons. The great pirate republic was surrendering. The most shocking moment came when Benjamin Hornigold stepped forward. Hornigold wasn't just any pirate. He was one of the founders of Nassau, a mentor to pirates like Blackbeard. He was a legend, and he accepted the king's pardon. This was the moment the pirate dream truly ended. If their own leader chose to give up, the fight was over. The collapse came from the inside. Woodes Rogers had captured the most dangerous pirate port in the world without firing a single cannon from his own ships. The idea of a pardon, the simple promise of a peaceful future, had done what an entire navy could not. It had convinced the pirates to tear down their own kingdom. But Rogers's plan was not finished. It was just getting started. He knew that pardoning hundreds of pirates was one thing, but keeping them from returning to their old ways was another. So he offered them something more than just freedom. He offered them a job. This was the core of his brilliant strategy. Rogers looked at the pardoned pirates, men like Benjamin Hornigold, and saw an opportunity. He gave them a new commission, a new flag to sail under. He officially hired them to become pirate hunters for the British Crown. The irony was incredible. The very men who had built the Pirate Republic were now tasked with hunting down anyone who still flew the Jolly Roger. Hornigold's first mission was to track down and capture his old ally, Charles Vane. The most skilled pirates in the world were now using their knowledge of secret coves and pirate tactics to dismantle the very life they had once championed. And here is the truly amazing part. The Pirate Republic was not brought down by a massive naval invasion. It wasn't defeated by cannon fire or grand battles. It was dismantled by an idea delivered on a simple piece of paper. The king's pardon was the most powerful weapon of all because it didn't target ships. It targeted the pirates' trust in each other. The pardon worked like a virus spreading through Nassau. Suddenly, every pirate had to wonder about the person standing next to them. Would they take the pardon? Would they turn informant to save themselves? The strong bond that held the pirate community together began to crack. A pirate's greatest strength was his crew, but now that crew was filled with suspicion. This single strategy destroyed the very foundation of the pirate haven. Without unity, the Republic of Pirates was just a collection of paranoid sailors stuck on an island. Woodes Rogers didn't need to sink their fleet. He cleverly made them abandon it themselves, turning their greatest strength into their biggest weakness. With order returning, Rogers became the new governor of the Bahamas. His first job was to clean up the remaining pirates who had refused the pardon, and he used a new, loyal force to do it. Former pirates who had accepted the king's offer. Their main target was the one who had so boldly defied him, Charles Vane. The hunt for Vane ended not in a blaze of glory, but with the power of nature. His ship was caught in a massive hurricane and wrecked on an uninhabited island. Vane survived, but was later recognized and captured. He was taken to Port Royal in Jamaica, the same town once famous for its pirates, and there his defiance came to an end. This sent a clear message to other holdouts, like Calico Jack Rackham, that their time was running out. Think about what this story really shows us. It proves that the most powerful weapon isn't always made of steel. Sometimes it's a well-thought-out plan. Rogers' victory wasn't just a military one, it was a masterclass in strategy. He won by outthinking his opponents, not just outgunning them. His success was a powerful lesson in understanding people. He knew that many pirates didn't want to fight to the end, they just wanted a way out. By offering them a choice between a fresh start and a certain end, he achieved what entire navies could not. He didn't just defeat the pirates, he dismantled the idea of being a pirate. What's truly stunning is the speed of the collapse. For more than a decade, Nassau was an untouchable symbol of rebellion, a place feared by merchants and kings. Yet, in a matter of weeks, it was gone. The great pirate dream, which had seemed so powerful, vanished almost overnight. Woodes Rogers had his own personal motto, which summarized his entire mission. In Latin, it said that the pirates were expelled and commerce was restored. With his brilliant plan, he didn't just capture a few rogue captains. He brought the entire Golden Age of Piracy in the Caribbean to a sudden and final close. A strange quiet fell over the island of Nassau. The chaotic shouts and cannon fire were gone. In their place was the sound of hammers rebuilding a town, The pirate republic was dead, but the ghosts of its most famous pirates still lingered on the seas. Charles Vane, the pirate who had escaped in a blaze of fire, did not last long. He continued his defiant raids across the Caribbean. But without the safe haven of Nassau, he was exposed. He was eventually captured, shipwrecked, and brought to justice, not by Rogers, but by the new world Rogers had created. But here's something most people don't know. Rogers' victory was not easy. After the pirates were gone, a new enemy arrived, sickness, and then the Spanish attacked. The new governor of Nassau had to defend the very island he had just reclaimed almost completely on his own. Woodes Rogers poured his own money into rebuilding the town and its forts. He wasn't just there to defeat the pirates. He wanted to build something new in its place. He was a former privateer, a pirate hunter, and now a governor trying to make a peaceful home out of a wild frontier. And what about the hundreds of pirates who took the king's pardon? Many found it hard to give up their old lives. Some joined Rogers and became pirate hunters themselves, using their skills to track down their old friends. Others simply disappeared, trying to live quiet lives. But a few couldn't resist the call of the sea. Famous pirates like Calico Jack Rackham took the pardon and then went right back to piracy. The pardon was a powerful weapon, but it couldn't change who some people were deep down. It was a test of character. The true genius of the plan wasn't just about capturing a few last pirates. It was about destroying the idea of Nassau. Rogers took away the one thing every pirate needed, a safe place to call home. Without it, the great pirate fleet scattered into the wind. Think about the incredible shift this caused. For years, pirates had ruled these waters. They were a powerful force, but one man with a smart plan, a promise of mercy, and an iron will managed to undo it all. He didn't need the world's biggest navy. He just needed to understand what the pirates truly wanted. For some, it was freedom. For others, it was a second chance. By offering both, he divided them. He turned their greatest strength, their unity, into their biggest weakness. It was a battle of minds, not just ships. And so, the Golden Age of Piracy drew to a close. Not with a final massive sea battle that shook the world, but with a careful, strategic move that dismantled a pirate kingdom piece by piece. The notorious Republic of Pirates was gone, replaced by a new chapter in history.